singles. We got Money Up, and then this is a new one. The other one that we've got, right, is a premiere.
Yeah, Bust That. Not even out
Bust
yet.
That. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
It came with gifts, man.
Nice. I love that. I love that. So we'll premiere that as well. And do you have a date for when that will come? Do you know yet?
Later this month.
Okay.
So we'll just leave it like that.
For sure. And then I've been, like I said, I've been DJing for 23 years, been doing radio and TV for 15. My interview style is incredibly conversational. I'm an artist as well, so
okay.
I vowed to not be that guy who is on the other side of the desk that gives horrible interviews.
Right.
Because I've had my fair share of horrible interview experiences. So we
all have.
Yeah. So, I mean, nothing here is really planned. This is more of like a conversation that you and I are having about your music.
Right.
And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We are not regulated by the FCC, so language isn't an issue per se. But we do try to keep things as clean as possible, just so that it reaches a wider audience.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there's no restrictions. I'd rather you be in pocket and feel comfortable than like worry about what you're saying.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm good.
And yeah, we're good. We got we'll start with like Money Up. We'll talk a bit, then play Money Up, then talk a bit more, and then finish things off with Bust That. And just so you know, the audience that tunes in specifically for the Artist Showcase show are obviously people who love discovering new music.
Right.
Oftentimes are artistic themselves, so a lot of producers, a lot of songwriters, singers, fellow artists, rappers, or whatnot tune into the show. So we'll also talk about your process, like as a creative, and like that usually is stuff that resonates with the audience,
right,
as well.
Works for me.
Cool. Everybody's phones are silenced. Let's make sure mine are. Is good. How long are you in town?
To Friday.
Okay. So you technically could go over to Coachella.
For one day.
Yeah,
one day.
I could.
It's crazy.
I heard about it, yeah.
If you've never gone, it's worth, to me, I think it's worth, experiencing.
Right.
And even if it's not for the festival itself, like there's all sorts of, I mean, weekend 2 is a little bit less of this, but like definitely weekend 1 is just all sorts of like brand stuff.
Okay.
Different things that are set up, and that almost, in my mind, is even better than the festival itself. It's a lot of industry. It's a lot of just like, there's a lot of artist showcases. It's kind of like a South by Southwest that happens
for LA.
Outside of like the actual festival itself.
Okay.
There's all of that's going on. That feels very much like South by.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just figured out it was 2 weekends, so
yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good thing. All right, cool. Here we go. I'll start with this intro. Ready? Here we go. In 3, 2. 3, 2. Here we go.
Welcome.
This is our movie trailer intro.
Discover new music. Do you want to be the first to know? Pay attention. This is Dash Day Discovery with DJ Hapa.
Yep, we're up in here. That's right. It is 2 p.m. time for the Daily Discovery. My man Hunnid is here. What's good?
Indeed. Hunnid. I'm good, man. I can't complain. I'm blessed.
I love it.
Happy to be here.
Man, from Chicago, and I want to make sure people know that this is spelled the way that we're saying it. It's Hunnid,
yes.
Hunnid. He is here in the building. I'm excited to talk to you, man, about all the things that you have going on. You brought us a little bit of a treat too. We've got an exclusive coming up in a few moments. But first, we just got to jump in, and I want to ask you a little bit more about how you got involved with music, when you first discovered that you had this talent. Walk me through that. Take us back to Chicago, man.
Oh, man. So we're going to go straight to Chicago on the south side. It started with me with my grandmother. She's like very old school, man. So when she clean the house, she'll be playing the oldies, James Brown, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
So I think it was embedded in my bones like early, and then as I grew older, you know, I'm a poet, so I was a poet before an actual artist. You know, had my first poem published at 9 years old.
Wow.
So that kind of helped me transition to music easily, and I was just fond on the lyrical aspect and manipulating words, and you know, I just kind of took to the freestyling in high school.
Right.
Back when the clips was hot, push them out.
Yeah, okay,
for
all
real,
right.
And they'd bang on the tables at lunch, and I mean, it just kind of just went from there. So, as a youngin', but I started doing it around like 16.
Okay.
So started taking it more serious.
Mm.
So around 16.
How did you get into poetry? Do you remember? Like, was it school? Was it an assignment at school or something like that?
It was just more so just to play with words, man. I don't know. I'm just intrigued with the play of words. How you can just, I don't know, just the manipulation, and then you could combine that with the melody, and I don't know. I'm just intrigued with that, and just kind of stuck with me.
And do you remember what that first poem was about?
I mean, you know, as corny as it was about colors. It was some simple, you know, Dr. Seuss type of stuff. Blue, red, colors are green. It was something simple, but I remember what it was about, though.
That sounds like that could be a pop song today. That might pop off today. Hey, sometimes simple is the best way to go.
Yeah, in today's age, it definitely is. I try to keep it a little more complex, but,
Yeah.
but that last
No,
poem
for
could
sure.
probably go viral for sure.
Yeah. You never know. The color song, you know?
Right. For real.
There's a whole dance to it and everything.
Oh, yeah. We can work on that. We can work on that.
Oh, man. All right, so you got into this through poetry. Do you speak any other languages?
No, I do not. It's just English and Ebonics. That's as far as we go.
I always find it interesting because for somebody who is, you know, intrigued by language,
Right.
to me, I think that sometimes we get so accustomed
Right.
and almost like desensitized to the English language, right? Because we're used to speaking this all the time. That almost like if you were to put yourself in the context of somebody who didn't know English, things would mean different.
Right.
They would have a different meaning, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the same sort of when I look at you know me as an English speaker looking at another person's language, right? And then being like, wow, okay. To me, I just like the melody of that, or I just like how that sounds, how the cadence of that, you know. And so it's always interesting how, because music is essentially a language as well.
Oh, definitely, without a
Universal
doubt.
language.
I know a little bit of Spanish. You know,
Okay.
I actually got a song that's unreleased where I'm kind of speaking some Spanish. You know.
Okay, all right.
AK 47. I know a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I knew you had a little something. You're like, yeah.
Something, you know.
There it is.
My amigos taught me back in the shop.
There it is,
Yeah.
man. All right, well, tell me a little bit more about this latest single that you put out called Money Up.
Yeah, Money Up was a combination of just so many things, and where I'm at currently in life. It's music right now is it's about like boasting, it's about bragging, it's about, you know, the Louis, the Fendi, the Prada. So me being me, whenever they go right, I go left. Whenever they go left, I go right. So this single was about me battling those vices. We all got our vices. At this particular, in this particular song, those vices are while you was hanging out, you know, whatever you were doing, hanging out with your friends, partying, whatever. I was trying to get my money up. But you was focused on the ladies, because we all know, and vice versa for the women. You know,
Right.
Well, whatever you're focused on, but in this case, it was the ladies. I was at, you know, in the studio trying to get my money up. So,
Right.
Ultimately, this record is just about focus and where my mental is currently at, man. Yeah.
Focus on the work.
Focused on the work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to get my money up. You
Yeah.
know? So-
Yeah. I hear that. Tell me a little bit more about the video too, because the video has got a cool concept to it.
Definitely. Shout out to Tev Dash, man. He shot that, and all the brand that was in there, man. It was like 15 to 20 plus characters, but it was inspired by a Dead Presidents movie. Lorenz Tate. Many people, the newer generation may not understand that.
Yep.
But it kind of fit well with, you know, the overall concept and just where I wanted to go with the record. So we masked up with the face paint like Dead Presidents, and we got the word on a crooked guy that had a lot of money, and so we worked it out. We had an inside man, and we came in there and we did what we did, and we got our money up.
How fun was that to like play that out in video form? Like,
It was fun, but it was hectic too, because that was like, I wrote the script, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was also directing it. So, you want, as an artist, and I'm sure you can relate, you want things to go perfect. But I mean, you can't hit 60 out of 60 jump shots, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was more so focused, but just, I had a little fun in there, I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of fun in there.
You gotta enjoy the process.
Definitely.
Right? Yeah.
But I was just focused on making sure that my vision came to life, and it definitely did. So thank all those artists and the brand for actually doing a little acting. So got my Denzel on in there.
Man, we love that. We love that you were able to get that going, and I'm excited to play this here. We're gonna play Money Up right here, right now. Don't go anywhere. We've got more with Hunnid in just a minute, including an exclusive, a sneak peek, a world premiere, all of that happening right here on Dash in just a few. But first, Money Up, let's go! Cool, we'll punch that last piece that I had. It's where
I was trying to get my money up.
I love it. Have you always been this focused on music?
See, the thing before this is like, music was on the back burner about like 3 or 4 years ago. Okay. I was in college, graduated with a bachelor's in business. But at the time I was focused on basketball, and trying to see what that.
Did you play in college?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was on Sports Center on Ball Up with Hot Sauce.
Okay.
You name it.
Where'd you go to school?
Milliken University.
Okay.
I transferred from Upper Iowa University, which was in D2.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I was just living life and focused on basketball and getting that degree. My mom didn't want me to get that. I wanted to get that, make sure there's a foundation up in there. So, and music was always a go for me, man. Like, everybody just messed with my music. So I was like, now's the time. I gotta stop, and get into it.
Yeah.
And it's been working ever since, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just did the ESPN College Basketball Awards.
Okay.
So, like DJing and hosting it. And so, it's always interesting, this like relationship between ball players and music.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of ball players want to do music, and then a lot of people in music want to be ball players. It's like this really
I
interesting.
think those things go hand in hand, just like fashion and music, like all three of those things is just like, it just meshes,
Yeah, I think the thing that I see too on one of the things that I think is a commonality between like learning a sport and like perfecting your craft on the music side is it's just that work ethic and that time and like the repetition of the same things of like, let me continue to do these drills, let me continue to like push this out. Yeah,
definitely, man.
Are there any like pro basketball players who have actually gotten it like successfully?
Shaq had a little bit of had a record that did alright.
We can say Shaq.
Shaq. Damian Lillard has.
If you want to say crossed over or like established, it kind of depends on what we're talking about. Because there's a lot of crossed over. That's a Kobe.
Had a record.
Yeah, had a record. I mean, Iman Shumpert crossed over. Like you said, Damian Lillard.
Meta World Peace had a.
Meta World Peace.
It wasn't him though. I think he is like an executive producer and has like created a label of
Right. But he makes some records too though.
Yeah, right.
But
not on a real,
right.
Not on a real successful level.
Yeah.
The only one I can say on a successful level is Shaq. I mean.
Yeah, I didn't know he was here.
I mean, Shaq is the ultimate brand. I mean, he got video games.
Yeah, he's got it all going on. Yeah.
Discover new music and new artists at Dash Daily Discovery with DJ Hapa.
Hunnid, there it is. Money. Get your money up. That's what we're talking about.
Money, 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 money.
Yeah, man. Get that focus. We were talking actually as that song was playing too about how you several years ago that there were other focuses for you, and where you had prioritized music was lower on the list based on, you were in school, you were playing ball, like there was all this other stuff that you had going on, and now you've really turned and put all that energy and effort into your music now. Was that a tough transition to be able to do that?
For me, no. It kind of led to that. You know, we all go through certain things in life, and it's like, it just works out that way just due to certain transitions in your life. And this time was like perfect for me, man. I got done with school. My mind was right. It just worked out, man. Like, it just worked out.
And I love how you went to college and got a degree in business.
Oh, definitely.
And to me, that also helps separate you from other artists that are out there. No knock to any artist that has not gone to college, but for you to have a college degree, how important was that, or is that even still to you now? And do you get a chance to utilize your degree?
Oh, definitely, man. Business, like when it comes down to these contracts, it's like, not to get it like misunderstood, but I mean, I'm like fully independent, so I'm the one looking at these contracts, whether it's a booking for whatever, an appearance or whatever. So I feel, you got to know your business, and that is so general that it applies to everything. So whether you want to concentrate it, you have that option. But for me, it was just like imperative that I just get a general business, and life happens and stuff changes. Yep. So down the line, if you want to focus on sports, like, you have that option. School is important in general, and I just feel like that's something that's not mentioned, in music. And there's a lot of people with the wrong messages. Yeah. It's okay to rep where you're from, and kind of shed light to these poverty-stricken environments, but don't let that be the only thing that you showcase. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for people that hear me, and when I'm painting my pictures, over these songs or whatever, and where I come from, because I come from a bad place, but when you hear me and you listen to me, it's like, oh wow, so he blossomed out of the concrete. He was that one rose, what I'm saying? So for me, I just want to shed more light to that. Go to school, get your masters, your bachelors, everything, and we just need to have more of that from artists.
Yeah, and I want to second that, because I think it's also important that oftentimes we live in a world in which we try to simplify things, so sometimes we're just kind of like, it's either this or that. And it doesn't have to be either this or that. Like, you can do both. Like, you can go get an education, and then from there still be creative. Like, it's not like, oh, now you sold out. Now
Yeah, like some people are still stuck in that mold where you can only fit one mold. You can't wear many hats. And that day is gone. I mean,
especially today. Especially today. Because I think if you're an artist that's out there, and I mentioned to you before we started here, there's a lot of artists that tune into Daily Discovery. If anybody who's out there is an artist, or you're working with artists and whatnot, there's going to be a time in which you may not be the hottest X, Y, or Z. And this happens in sports a lot, right? Like, because in sports, especially at a pro level, it's funny, like, we're in the middle of the NBA playoffs or whatnot, and you got like a guy like Manu Ginobili, and I heard them the other day being like, oh my God, you did this and he's 40 years old. And like, in pro sports, that's like, you're ancient. Yeah. Like, that's it. You're done. You've got maybe a year left. Yeah. Maybe. You might even have a week left. Like, something might blow out and then you might be done. But, in sort of the real world, 40 is like, man, you're just starting your life. You're just starting to kind of figure it out, right? Yeah. So a lot of times I think that for those artists that are out there specifically who maybe have it in their mind where it's like, this is how I'm going to make it, and this is going to be the thing that I'm going to quote unquote retire off of. I'm going to be a millionaire at 25 or whatnot. It's like, yes, you might be, but even if you had $1 million at 25 and didn't know how to invest that properly and take care of things, I mean, $1 million goes like this these days.
Oh, definitely. I agree, man. There's a lot of there's not a lot of education, not a lot of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It's somewhat of just I don't know, in the last decade, I don't know where we fell off, but a lot of people are just misguided, Yeah. I see people with like millions of dollars, and then they're just, next couple of years, it's like, where did that go?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but that's just due to like education and knowing how to budget your money and you know, having that team that's really gonna teach you outside of all this other BS that's, you know,
Yep.
pushed to the forefront.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say too, is I think that I love that, you know, we both went to college, and we've gone there, and I can say that there's definitely been a tremendous benefit that I've seen in my career by having gone to college and earned a degree from college. However, I think that education and institutionalized education are two different things. Like,
Right.
somebody can get their education without needing to sit in a classroom, you know, 4 days a week or
Definitely.
whatnot, and still can get an education though and educate themselves on how to be better at what it is that they do, or learn about things that they don't know much about, like even when it comes to business or whatnot. So I love that you're also an example of that, because I mean, it's not as though you stop learning after you're done with school.
Oh,
it's like, okay, cool, so school's done, I got my degree, I know everything I need to know.
Yeah.
Right? Not at all, right?
And you're still learning until the day you die. I taught my grandma how to use a MP3 player. You know, a couple months ago, I got her one for Christmas, man. You know, she's old school, VHS.
Right.
You know,
Damn, she still has the VHS.
cassette. I mean,
Okay.
She's
That's amazing.
all the pictures. It's like one of those grandmas where you go in a house and you can see yourself, you know, in
Yep.
3rd grade, and you're like,
Yep.
take that picture down, grandma. I got people with me.
Right.
But yeah, man, she's old school, so it's like you can still learn, no matter how old you are, man.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Even if you watch, like for me, I'm a big documentary guy,
Mhm.
you know, and I like the facts and kind of learning on my own as opposed to what's in the books,
Mhm.
because what's in the books isn't, you know, exactly 100% factual. It's told from a perspective and from a side,
Absolutely.
you know. So like, knowledge is power, man, and education is key.
Tell me more about CCG.
Oh, CCG. Don't CG that. That's the brand.
Yep.
Committed to camaraderie and growth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a bunch of artists, but more importantly, it's a brotherhood for me, man. It's just like, that's my American flag for me, you know. I just feel like loyalty is rare, and you want to grow as a person. So I feel like I'm gonna be like 87 in the cane. I'm still gonna be like CCG. I'm gonna be committed to camaraderie and growth. You
Right,
know,
right.
like those two things never stop.
Mm.
You know, whether it's friend, blood relative. You know, you gotta have those principles, and those principles I value in life. And so that's what CCG is, man. It's, you know, composed of a particular amount of artists and friends.
How does one become a part of CCG?
I mean, we not having tryouts, but
Yeah. Seems like a fraternity that you'd have to go through a hazing process and all of this.
I mean, we may open the door, but ultimately, like, proving yourself with loyalty, man. You know, and it's been composed of, like, at the minimum 6-year relationships. You know, at the minimum. So these people, like, I trust my life is on the line. You know, so.
And to me, I would imagine that there's also, I mean, even as we were talking about education, to me this is a part of like that extended education.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially that's what most people go to college for, is camaraderie and growth, right? I mean, like
Definitely.
you're going there to be amongst your peers, and then, you know, to grow as a person or an intellectual or whatnot, you know.
Definitely.
That's cool. I love what you're doing on that side too, man. And I think that yeah, I'm excited for all the things that are coming up for you. Tell me a little bit more about like what's on the way, and then we're excited to give this thing a world premiere here in a minute.
Oh man, what's on the way? The schedule is looking crazy, but I'll keep it. I want to keep the suspense up, so I won't say too much. But they can expect a single from me every month. That just shows my work ethic just within that particular sentence, as well as at least a video every month.
Wow.
I'm in overdrive right now. You could expect some collaborations, a couple mixtapes. Nonetheless, just expect.
It's
going to
be a big year.
Oh,
There'll be a lot of Hunnid out there. Yeah.
Facts, you know, nothing less than BIG for this year, man. We plan to do it big all the way through.
Nice.
That's the game plan.
Nice. All right, so I want to get into this exclusive that you brought by here. This one is called Bust That.
Yes.
Tell me a
Bust
little
That.
bit more about this record, and then I can't wait to play it here.
Bust That is exactly what it means, bust that. I kind of used the references of the way a woman moves in relation to firearms, such as shotguns, tech. So that's where the bust that kind of comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of experimenting with certain things, and it's more of it's my style infused with hip hop, infused with Afro beat. We can throw some Caribbean vibes in there. Just because I don't have a genre myself, I feel like I can do country if I want to. You know, I've done rock, but I think bust that is it's not a softer side to me, but it's more of
it's a vibe. Yeah, it's a vibe.
We here.
I got you.
You know, so I think that people will enjoy it. It's something different, more commercial. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much. You'll just have to tune in, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it right here, right now, and premiere this here on Dash. I'm gonna play this. We'll come back and say goodbye before we get out of here. But without further ado, here it is. Hunnid, Bust That, right here on Dash Radio.
This is a Dash Radio exclusive. Dash Daily Discovery.
Pull up, bust that like K's and Uzis. Play that role like we making movies. Body smoking like blunts and doobies. Got that head like Wayne and Julie. And after you get up, then stop. Then what, pop it like a Glock. Now after you get up, then stop. Then what, pop it like a Glock. Yeah, shimmy, yeah, ooh. So wavy like a ship on cruise. Blood precious like a gym.
What's that? That's from, is that Juvenile?
Yeah. Had to pay homage, you know.
Yep. Headed out to L.A. Back to Chicago for a little bit?
Yeah, back to Chicago for a little bit, man. We've been everywhere, so recently New York, London, so
Nice.
back to the shot, get things together, gotta shoot a couple of videos, see family, get the next play together, and then we'll be right back out.
Nice. You've been out doing shows and stuff too, or just sessions? Or?
Just more so like working with other artists and videos, man. Actually, my first show of this year was Saturday here.
Oh, word. Where'd you play out here?
The Spot.
Where's that at?
I'll have to look it up, man.
It was L.A. West Hollywood, maybe?
West Hollywood.
Yeah. It was more of like a venue, not an actual bar or anything like that. It was like a performance venue.
Cool.
Yeah.
Last time I was there last year, I filmed Los Globos.
Oh, yeah.
What's on your agenda, man? What you got lined up?
Head to Austin on Thursday. I do a lot of stuff for different corporate brands and stuff. So I do all the music programs for Ducati, the motorcycle company.
Okay.
So there's a big like MotoGP race that's out there. So I host the stage, I curate like a lot of different artists, artist performances for that, and then DJ on there too. So I do have this weekend, and then I go to Europe. I'll be in Europe next week for a big festival out there, and then back. So it's kind of like back and forth.
Right. I see you working, man.
Yeah. Gotta keep it up.
Definitely, man.
I just did Kidding's remix, so his last single was Tell Me. It's more of it's actually kind of a vibe like this. And so we just finished his remix. That'll come out, I think, at some point next month. That's our RCA release, and we got a couple of things in there.
What's up? Definitely.
Discover new music and new artists at Dash Daily Discovery with DJ Hapa.
Yeah, we told you it was a vibe. We told you it was a vibe. I love that, man. Great record. I'm excited that you have come by, and it's great to have met you, and I can't wait for all the things that are coming for you. Just so that people know, after this has aired now on Dash, this will be up on my site, and we'll archive this on my site, so you can listen back to this. For those of you out there, you can listen back to this from the very beginning. We've also got links back to all the Hunnid stuff, including links to Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. And your website,
Yes.
keepit100.com.
Keepit100.com.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Straight like that.
There it is. There it is. Such a pleasure having you. And we always like to end the show by saying this. Music is life, and life is good. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.